The enigmatic Pharaoh Meryhathor, Unveiling the Tenth Dynasty, 2160 to 2040 before Common Era. In the annals of ancient Egyptian history, certain figures emerge shrouded in mystery, their stories fragmented and elusive. One such figure is Pharaoh Meryhathor, a ruler of the Tenth Dynasty, a period that spanned from 2160 to 2040 before the Common Era. This era, nestled between the grandeur of the Old Kingdom and the resurgence of the Middle Kingdom, offers a fascinating glimpse into a time of political fragmentation and cultural resilience. Join me as we journey through the life and times of Meryhathor, piecing together the enigmatic puzzle of his reign and the world he sought to govern. The historical context of the Tenth Dynasty. To understand Meryhathor's reign, we must first delve into the historical context of the Tenth Dynasty. This period, often referred to as the First Intermediate Period, was marked by the decline of centralized power following the collapse of the Old Kingdom. The mighty pyramids and monumental constructions of the Fourth and Fifth Dynasties had given way to a fragmented political landscape. Egypt was divided, with local rulers, or nomarchs, exerting control over their respective regions. The Tenth Dynasty primarily ruled from Heracleopolis, a city located in Middle Egypt. This dynasty coexisted and sometimes conflicted with the 11th dynasty, which was based in Thebes. The rulers of Heracleopolis, including Meryhathor, were tasked with maintaining authority in a time of economic difficulty and political instability. Ascension to the throne. Meryhathor's rise to power remains shrouded in the mists of antiquity. Like many pharaohs of this era, concrete details about his lineage and the exact circumstances of his ascension are scarce. However, it is believed that he was a local noble who managed to consolidate power through strategic alliances and possibly military prowess. One speculation is that Meryhathor might have been a descendant of a powerful nomarch or a military leader who capitalized on the weakening central authority of the Old Kingdom. As the central power waned, regional leaders like Meryhathor saw opportunities to assert their dominance. His name, Meryhathor, which translates to beloved of Hathor, indicates a possible religious or cultural significance that bolstered his legitimacy as a ruler. Meryhathor's ascension to the throne might have been marked by a ceremonial acknowledgement from the priests of Hathor, which could have played a significant role in garnering support from the populace. This relationship with the temple and priesthood was crucial, as it provided a divine sanction to his rule, making him not just a political leader but a chosen one by the gods. Governance and challenges. Ruling during the Tenth Dynasty was no easy task. The fragmented political landscape meant that Meryhathor had to navigate a web of alliances and rivalries. His primary challenge was to maintain control over his territory while fending off threats from rival factions, particularly those from Thebes. The economy during this period was in decline, which added to the difficulties faced by rulers like Meryhathor. The breakdown of centralized administration meant that trade routes were less secure, and agricultural productivity suffered due to neglect and possible climatic changes. Meryhathor's administration would have had to focus on stabilizing the economy and ensuring the food supply for his people. One can imagine Meryhathor's court bustling with advisors and scribes, each presenting reports on various provinces, the state of granaries, and the need for repairs to irrigation canals. The pharaoh would have had to make swift yet calculated decisions to address these issues. He likely invested in small-scale local projects aimed at improving infrastructure and agricultural output, such as repairing dikes and ensuring that the Nile's floodwaters were properly managed to maximize the fertility of the land. Architectural and cultural contributions. Despite the challenges, Meryhathor's reign saw some notable architectural and cultural contributions. While the grandiose pyramid-building projects of the Old Kingdom were no longer feasible, local rulers like Meryhathor still invested in construction projects that demonstrated their power and piety. Archaeological evidence suggests that Meryhathor commissioned several temples and public buildings in Heracleopolis. These structures, though not as grand as the pyramids of Giza, were significant in their own right. They served as centers of worship and administration, reinforcing Meryhathor's authority and connecting him with the divine. One intriguing aspect of Meryhathor's reign is the emphasis on the goddess Hathor. Hathor, often depicted as a cow or a woman with cow horns, was a deity associated with love, music, and fertility. The The prominence of Hathor in Meryhathor's name and his architectural projects suggests that he sought to align himself with her protective and nurturing aspects, perhaps to gain favor with both the gods and his subjects. Meryhathor's temples would have been adorned with intricate carvings and frescoes depicting scenes of devotion and offerings to Hathor. These temples not only served religious functions, but also acted as community centers where the people could seek solace and divine intervention in times of need. The construction of these temples would have provided employment and stimulated the local economy, creating a sense of stability and continuity. The role of religion. Religion played a pivotal role in legitimizing Meryhathor's rule. In a time of political fragmentation, the endorsement of the gods was crucial for maintaining authority. Meryhathor likely participated in elaborate religious rituals and patronized the construction of temples to honor the gods. One of the key religious practices during this period was the cult of the dead. Egyptians believed in an afterlife where the deceased would need sustenance and protection. Funerary practices and the construction of tombs remained important, even if the scale of these projects had diminished from the grandeur of the Old Kingdom. Meryhathor's tomb, though not yet discovered, would have likely been designed to ensure his safe passage to the afterlife and his eternal communion with the gods. In addition to the traditional cult practices, Meryhathor might have introduced or emphasized certain religious reforms or festivals to unify his people and strengthen his rule. For instance, he could have proclaimed grand festivals dedicated to Hathor, inviting pilgrims from across his realm to participate in the celebrations. These festivals would have reinforced his divine mandate and created a shared sense of identity and purpose among his subjects. Anecdotes and speculations. While the historical record is sparse, certain anecdotes and speculations add color to Meryhathor's story. One popular tale, though not directly attested to Meryhathor, speaks of a 10th Dynasty ruler who outwitted a rebellious nomarch through cunning diplomacy rather than brute force. This story, if attributed to Meryhathor, would suggest a ruler who valued intelligence and strategy over sheer military might. This anecdote paints a vivid picture of Meryhathor's court, where cunning advisors and diplomats would have played crucial roles. One can imagine a scenario where Meryhathor, facing a rebellious nomarch, called for a grand feast, inviting his adversary to negotiate peace. During the feast, Meryhathor's diplomats might have subtly persuaded the nomarch to abandon his rebellion in exchange for lucrative positions or honors, thus averting conflict and securing loyalty. Speculation also surrounds Meryhathor's relationships with his contemporaries. It is possible that he had to navigate complex alliances with other regional rulers, including those in Thebes. These relationships would have been crucial in maintaining stability and avoiding conflicts that could further weaken the region. Domestic policies and social structure. Meryhathor's reign likely saw various domestic policies aimed at strengthening his control and ensuring the welfare of his subjects. The social structure of the time was hierarchical, with the pharaoh at the top, followed by nobles, priests, scribes, artisans, and farmers. Each class had specific roles and responsibilities, contributing to the overall functioning of the society. Meryhathor might have enacted policies to promote agricultural productivity, such as distributing land to loyal subjects or improving irrigation systems. He could have also implemented measures to protect the rights of farmers and laborers, ensuring they had the resources and support needed to sustain their livelihoods. These policies would have been crucial in maintaining social stability and preventing unrest. The pharaoh's court would have been a hub of activity, with scribes meticulously recording transactions, laws, and decrees. These records, written on papyrus scrolls, would have provided a detailed account of Meryhathor's administration. Unfortunately, many of these documents have been lost to time, leaving us to piece together the story from fragments. Military campaigns and defense. While Meryhathor's reign is not noted for significant military conquests, he would have needed to maintain a capable defense force to protect his territory and assert his authority. The fragmented nature of Egypt during the First Intermediate Period meant that local conflicts and skirmishes were common. Meryhathor's military might have been composed of trained soldiers, local militias, and possibly mercenaries. Defense strategies could have included fortifying key settlements, patrolling trade routes, and maintaining a network of watchtowers along the borders. These measures would have ensured the safety of his subjects and the stability of his rule. One speculative account suggests that Meryhathor might have led a military expedition to quell a rebellion in a neighboring region. This campaign, if it occurred, would have demonstrated his ability to project power and maintain order. Victories in such conflicts would have been commemorated through stelae and inscriptions, celebrating Meryhathor's prowess as a warrior and leader. The decline of the Tenth Dynasty. Meryhathor's reign, like that of many rulers of the Tenth Dynasty, was ultimately overshadowed by the rise of the 11th Dynasty in Thebes. The Theban rulers, under the leadership of Mentuhotep II, eventually succeeded in reunifying Egypt, marking the end of the First Intermediate Period and the beginning of the Middle Kingdom. The reunification process was not instantaneous and likely involved a series of military and diplomatic efforts. Meryhathor and his successors would have faced increasing pressure from the rising power of Thebes. The exact circumstances of Meryhathor's demise and the end of his dynasty are unclear, but it is evident that the balance of power gradually shifted in favor of the Theban rulers. As Thebes grew stronger, Meryhathor's successors might have sought alliances or negotiated terms to preserve some semblance of autonomy. However, the tide of history favored Thebes, and Heracleopolis eventually fell under their control. This transition marked the end of the 10th dynasty and the dawn of a new era for Egypt. Legacy and historical impact. Although Meryhathor's reign was relatively short and his achievements modest compared to the pharaohs of the Old and Middle Kingdoms, his legacy is significant in understanding the resilience of Egyptian civilization. The 10th dynasty, with rulers like Meryhathor, exemplifies how local leaders adapted to and navigated periods of crisis. Meryhathor's emphasis on religious and cultural continuity helped preserve Egyptian identity during a time of fragmentation. His construction projects, though modest, contributed to the religious and administrative infrastructure that would later support the reunification efforts of the Middle Kingdom. Cultural renaissance and artistic expression. Despite the political fragmentation, the 10th dynasty saw a cultural renaissance that contributed to the rich tapestry of Egyptian art and literature. Meryhathor's reign, though challenged by external and internal pressures, likely fostered a period of artistic expression and intellectual growth. Artisans under Meryhathor's patronage would have continued the tradition of creating exquisite jewelry, pottery, and sculptures. These artifacts, often adorned with intricate designs and hieroglyphics, served both practical and ceremonial purposes. The depictions of gods, daily life, and pharaohs provided a visual narrative that connected the people to their heritage and beliefs. Literature, too, flourished during this time. Scribes and scholars might have composed hymns, prayers, and wisdom literature that reflected the philosophical and theological concerns of the era. These texts, though many have been lost, would have been recited during religious ceremonies and passed down through generations, preserving the cultural memory of Meryhathor's reign. Daily life and society. Understanding the daily life of people during Meryhathor's reign provides a more holistic view of his impact. The common people, farmers, artisans, and traders, lived in a world defined by their relationship with the land and the Nile River. The annual flooding of the Nile was a crucial event that determined agricultural success and, by extension, the prosperity of the entire region. Meryhathor's administration would have had to ensure the effective management of this natural resource. This involved organizing labor for building and maintaining irrigation canals and reservoirs. The success of these projects would have directly impacted the food supply and the economic stability of his realm. Life in the villages and towns under Meryhathor's rule would have been centered around local temples and marketplaces. These places were not only centers of commerce and worship, but also hubs of social interaction where news, goods, and cultural practices were exchanged. Festivals and religious ceremonies would have brought communities together, reinforcing social bonds and collective identity. The pharaoh's court. The court of Meryhathor would have been a microcosm of the larger society, reflecting its complexities and hierarchies. High officials, priests, and nobles would have played significant roles in advising the pharaoh and executing his policies. The relationship between Meryhathor and his court would have been pivotal in maintaining his authority and ensuring effective governance. The vizier, often the highest official after the pharaoh, would have been responsible for overseeing the administration, justice, and economic affairs of the kingdom. This position required exceptional skill and loyalty, as the vizier acted as the pharaoh's right hand, implementing his decrees and managing the day-to-day operations of the state. Priests and religious officials, meanwhile, held immense influence due to their role in maintaining the favor of the gods. They would have conducted rituals, managed temple estates, and served as intermediaries between the divine and the mortal realms. Their support was crucial for legitimizing Meryhathor's rule and ensuring the stability of his reign. Education and knowledge. Education during Meryhathor's time would have been the privilege of a select few, primarily the elite and those destined for administrative or priestly roles. Scribes, in particular, were highly valued for their literacy and ability to manage records. The education of a scribe involved rigorous training in reading, writing, and mathematics, skills essential for the efficient running of the state. The House of Life, a sort of ancient Egyptian library and scriptorium, would have been a center of learning where texts were copied, studied, and preserved. These institutions played a crucial role in maintaining the continuity of knowledge and cultural heritage, ensuring that the wisdom of the past was passed down through generations. The enduring mystique of Meryhathor. In the grand narrative of ancient Egypt, Pharaoh Meryhathor of the 10th Dynasty might not be as prominent as the builders of pyramids or the conquerors of foreign lands, but his story is no less captivating. His reign, set against the backdrop of a fragmented and turbulent period, showcases the resilience and adaptability of a civilization that endured and evolved over millennia. Meryhathor's ability to navigate the complexities of his time, his contributions to religious and cultural life, and his efforts to maintain stability in an era of uncertainty all speak to the enduring spirit of ancient Egypt. Through the lens of his life and reign, we gain a deeper appreciation for the nuances of history and the interconnectedness of political, religious, and social dynamics. The modern rediscovery and archaeological interest. In modern times, the fascination with Pharaoh Meryhathor and his era has spurred numerous archaeological efforts aimed at uncovering more about this enigmatic ruler. Excavations in Heracleopolis and surrounding areas have yielded valuable artifacts and inscriptions that provide glimpses into the life and times of Meryhathor. Archaeologists have discovered remnants of temples and administrative buildings that offer insights into the architectural style and urban planning of the 10th Dynasty. These findings help historians piece together the socio-political landscape of the period, shedding light on the challenges and achievements of Meryhathor's reign. One of the most exciting prospects for modern Egyptologists is the potential discovery of Meryhathor's tomb. Such a discovery would provide invaluable information about his reign, funerary practices, and personal beliefs. It would also serve as a tangible link to a ruler whose legacy has long been shrouded in mystery. Meryhathor in popular culture. Pharaoh Meryhathor's intriguing story has also found its way into popular culture, inspiring novels, documentaries, and even fictionalized accounts. These works of art and literature explore the rich tapestry of his reign, blending historical facts with imaginative storytelling. In literature, Meryhathor is often depicted as a wise and strategic ruler, navigating the complexities of his time with intelligence and grace. Novels set in the 10th Dynasty bring to life the vibrant world of ancient Egypt, complete with its rituals, politics, and everyday life. These stories, though fictionalized, help readers connect with the past on a personal level, making history accessible and engaging. Documentaries and historical dramas, on the other hand, aim to provide an accurate portrayal of Meryhathor's reign, drawing on archaeological evidence and expert analysis. These visual narratives offer a captivating glimpse into the world of ancient Egypt, bringing the story of Meryhathor to a broader audience. Educational initiatives and public engagement. The story of Meryhathor and the 10th Dynasty also plays a significant role in educational initiatives aimed at promoting the study of ancient history. Museums and cultural institutions around the world feature exhibits dedicated to this period, showcasing artifacts, interactive displays, and educational programs. Schools and universities incorporate the study of the first intermediate period into their curricula, encouraging students to explore the complexities and nuances of this fascinating era. By examining the life of Meryhathor, students gain a deeper understanding of the challenges faced by ancient civilizations and the strategies they employed to overcome them. Public lectures and seminars by renowned Egyptologists further enrich the public's understanding of Meryhathor's reign. These events provide platforms for sharing the latest archaeological discoveries and scholarly interpretations, fostering a sense of curiosity and appreciation for ancient history. The global legacy of ancient Egypt. The story of Pharaoh Meryhathor, like that of many ancient Egyptian rulers, transcends geographical and cultural boundaries. The legacy of ancient Egypt, with its rich history, art, and culture, continues to captivate people around the world. Meryhathor's reign, though a small part of this vast tapestry, contributes to our collective understanding of a civilization that has left an indelible mark on human history. As we continue to uncover and interpret the remnants of Meryhathor's world, we are reminded of the enduring relevance of ancient history. The challenges, achievements, and lessons of the past provide valuable insights for navigating the complexities of the present and future. Through the lens of history, we gain a greater appreciation for the resilience and ingenuity of those who came before us. Conclusion. The enigmatic pharaoh. In conclusion, Pharaoh Meryhathor of the 10th Dynasty remains an enigmatic figure in the tapestry of ancient Egyptian history. His reign, marked by political fragmentation and cultural resilience, offers a unique perspective on a tumultuous yet fascinating period. Meryhathor's efforts to maintain stability, his architectural and cultural contributions, and his strategic navigation of the complexities of his time all highlight the enduring spirit of ancient Egypt. As we continue to explore and uncover the mysteries of his reign, Meryhathor's story serves as a reminder of the timeless human spirit, a spirit that seeks to understand, preserve, and celebrate the rich heritage of our shared history. Through the lens of Meryhathor's life, we gain not only a deeper appreciation for ancient Egypt, but also valuable insights into the resilience and adaptability that have defined humanity throughout the ages.